Okay, so today's lesson is on completing the square. Now, I just want you to pay careful attention because it says make the square and then compensate, okay? Now, if you pay close attention to what the examples are, there's three. I included an extra one because I feel like I need that further explanation. You'll see what's going on, hopefully, okay? If not, I'll just ask questions in class. Okay, so the first one actually is a square, and I'll prove it to you. If I play magic numbers, I'm playing with factors that make up to 4 that add up to 4. Well, that's simply going to be x plus 2. It's just simply going to be 2 and 2. So it's going to be x plus 2 plus 2. And I can rewrite, because they're the same number, as x plus 2 squared. They're the same thing. Okay? So it's an actual square. So we can say that this is x plus 2, x plus 2. The area of this square is going to be x plus 2 squared. Okay, so that's an actual square. Now this is actually really important because this square is going to help us answer the second square to the right. So here, okay? So I'm going to use a different color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this to straight to this line, okay? And I'll explain step by step how I'm going to do that. So what I'll do is I'm going to look at this term. I can actually bring the 1 across if I wanted to. Let's do that. It might make it easier. X squared plus 4x. Bring the 1 across, so it's going to be -1 equals 0. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work with this bit here. Okay. I'm going to go straight to the square, so straight to this bit here. Now I know the answer, but if I didn't, this is the way I would do it. I would go x, and I would see how this is plus. So that means this one's going to be plus, all right? And then the next number in the brackets, we know the number is going to be 2. But I also can know I have to split this middle term, the 4x. Well, not the 4x, just the 4. What's half of 4? Well, it's 2, and I'm going to square it. Now, this is the bit we have to compensate, so just be careful with this. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to take away the extra little bit, okay? So remember, I am just working with this, okay? Now, that in purple and this aren't the same thing, because remember that this is the whole square, okay? So I have to compensate by taking away the opposite of this number here, okay? Now, this number is 4, but the way I will know for any square is that it's going to be that number squared. So what's 2 squared? Well, it's 4, okay? So I'm going to take away 4, and then I'm going to bring down this 1 from the top, so I'm going to go -1 equals 0, and then I'm going to keep going, go x plus 2 squared, combine these two together, -5 equals 0, and then if I so chose to, I'm going to draw a line there because it's not always going to be this case. I can keep going. I can move the -5 to the other side. I can go x plus 2 squared equals 5. And then I can solve for x by square rooting both sides. So I just get x plus 2 by itself. And then plus or minus square root of 5. And then I can move the 2 to the other side. And I get x equals -2 plus root 5, or -2 minus root 5, simply because of these two solutions that we have there. Okay, I'm going to give you one further example, but if you don't get it, we'll practice it in class, so don't stress about it. If you do, wonderful, okay? So here's an example that I've just done on the fly. So what I'm going to do, let's do the same process. Let's move this over to the side, so x squared plus 2x minus 5, so I brought it over, equals 0. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work with these two terms and I'm going to go straight to the square. So x, I know it's plus because of this plus here, plus, and then the next term is going to be half this one. So what's half of 2? 1. And then I've got to go straight to the square. Now, I need to compensate by taking away whatever this number is squared. So that number is 1. So I'm going to take away 1. I'm going to do that in a different colour so it's notable. Let's get back to the purple. So then I'm just going to go minus 5 equals 0. And now I can combine things. X plus 1 squared minus 6 equals 0. And then I can keep going if I so wish. Okay. Now I'm just going to explain this bit a little bit further. If we expand this square, the x plus 1 squared, we've got those skills from last time. If I just go x squared, let's do that better, plus 2 times x times 1, which is 2x, plus 1 squared, it's going to be that, equals 6, all right? Now notice that all I've done is expanded this guy here, so this is exactly the same as that or that, okay? Which means this one here, we just added on, so we had to compensate for over here, okay? Now, I don't want to keep talking about it because it's going to complicate things, but hopefully you've understood. If not, please ask questions. All right, that's it for completing the square. Peace out.